Evening to Madam Hazlin Binti Basha and my beloved friends. So today we would like to explain about our topic, which is comparison between personal transport and public transport. Before we explain our survey topics, we would like to introduce myself and my teammates. So first of all, I myself, Sankavi Dr. Subramanian, and my machine number will be 23-19 F1038, and other of my two mates, which is Muhammad Aziz Isamuddin bin Ahmad Rizal and Ahmad Izwan Shah bin Ahmad Sufri. So first of all, we are going to see about introduction. So introduction can be categorized into two. One will be personal transport and secondly will be public transport. So first I'm going to explain about personal transport. So what is personal transport? Personal transport is the personal or individual use of transportation which are not available for use by the general public, where essentially the user can decide freely on the time and route of transit using vehicles. In other words, we can say that our own transport. So we can see our previous generation, they don't have much cars or bike to travel far. But in this generation, each house at least have one own transportation. For example, car, bike, and etc. Okay, secondly will be public transport. Public transport is a system of a transport for passengers by group travel system available for use by the general public, unlike private transport, typically managed on a schedule operated on established routes and that charge a posted fee for each trip. So we can also state public transport which can be used by publics such as bus, taxi, and etc. Okay, next of all will be demographic profile. So we are using two types of demographic profile. First of all will be gender. Gender we can categorize into two, male and female. And secondly, age. So there are five range of age. First will be 11 to 20. Second 21 to 30. Third will be 31 to 40. Fourth will be 41 to 50. And lastly will be 51 to 60. So these are the graphs for gender and age. So the survey will be open to all gender and age. So the total respondent for our testing is 45. So why we didn't open, we didn't specifically stated for student is because not only students are using this kind of service, also the other ages, other genders are using. So for age, in 14 one respondent, 18 one respondent, 19 13 respondent, 2017 respondent, 21 4 respondent, 22 2 respondent, 24 2 respondent, 32 1 respondent, 34 1 respondent, 41 1 respondent, 45 1 respondent, and 58 1 respondent. For gender, for male 57.8% and for female 40% and prefer not to say.
Now for objective. The first objective is to determine whether user prefer for personal transport or public transport. The next one is to find out the factors that influencing user more to public transport. And the last one is to identify the advantage and disadvantage of personal and public transport. We already get the result for the 10 questionnaire that we create last week. And the first one is, do you prefer public transport or personal transport? And the result is 91.9% for personal transport and 8.9% for public transport. As we can see, all the respondent that they respond to our question are mostly using personal transport.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Aziz Samudia Ahmad Riza, and my matrix card number is 23DMF1044. And number two, what kind of personal transport do you use? Okay, as we can see in the data, there were 84.4% of the users use a car, and 15.6% will use a motorcycle. Okay. Uh, and nobody will use a bicycle. Now, this is because the car used for family, or there were many users car than motorcycle. For the bicycle, maybe they don't use because bicycle is more to the sport, or maybe for the leisure, they can use it.
So for our third question will be, if you don't have your own transport, which public transport do you use for your travels? So we do have four options: bus, train, taxi, and Grab. But from the respondent, we only received three options only. First will be train, 44.4%. Secondly will be Grab, 31.1%. And finally will be bus, 24.4%.
And the question number 4 are, what do you think about public transportation in your country? As you can see, we get 40.9% for safety, 15.9% for cleanliness, 20.5% for too many transfers, and 15.9% for fares too expensive. And others we get for no bus service.
Question number 5. How often do you use public transportation? Yeah. Uh, as we can see, there was small, daily, and a week. I think it's same with a weekly, but there were more used several times a month. Maybe this is because they have own public transportation than public transportation, and at the same time, public transportation there's no destination where they want to use.
So next of all will be, what do you think about personal transportation in country? So we'll be giving four options. First of all will be lack of time management. Secondly, lack of parking. Thirdly, parking costs too expensive. And fourth will be regulatory cost. So from 45 respondents, we have received the data in pie chart. So first of all, lack of parking will be 40%. So second will be regular fuel cost will be 31.1%. Thirdly, 17.8% will be lack of time management, and finally will be 11.1% is parking.
And then number 7 is driving to work is better than using public transport to work. Yeah, at the data, there were 81.8% say yes and 18.2% say no. Okay. This is because maybe when they're using a public transport, there were too many technical error, like they were public transport late, so they were late to work, or when they woke up late, so they can use own transportation go to work. They can faster up their moving, so they can catch up the time at the work.
Now for question number 8. What form of transport do you usually use? And the first one, and most of them are using car, and the result is 68.9%. Net is train 11.1%, and next for also for bike is 13.3%, and others for bus and Grab. Yeah.
Okay, number 9 would be, do you think using public transport can reduce rate of accidents? So only three options are available. One will be yes, secondly no, third will be maybe. So from the 45 respondent, most of the respondent response yes as their main option. So total percentage for yes is 57.8, and then second will be maybe 33.3%, and finally will be 8.9% is no.
Question number 10. Which transportation will give more benefit? As we can see at the data, the 40% say public transport, and 20% say personal transport, and 40% say both. This is because maybe they were more like using a public transport than personal transport, but at the same time, there was someone who wanted using personal transport, so they can go anywhere they want. So in conclusion, most of the user were choosing public transport as their opinion, and users are more comfortable with public transport, and so the advantages of public transport are greater than personal transport. It is because uh, they can manage time and can reduce the cost.
The last one is recommendation. I got two recommendations. The first one is using carpool can save large amounts of gasoline. And the last one, driving an electric vehicle is a better option to prevent air pollution.